to just talk for a minute about like what you thought, and that's why we're sitting so close. So we don't normally.
We sat closer in the arena.
I know, the arena, the seats were so small. Then we had these big bags like that were and coats. It was just crazy. So like, what did you think of the event?
I loved it.
Yes.
When I said to Mary, I really, really enjoyed it. And then I said I liked it more than I thought I would. I knew it was going to be good, but it was really inspirational. And Oprah, it's one thing to see her on TV and then to feel her speak and just be so authentic. And they kept saying that word authentic, but I can't think of anything else. But she was just real genuine and really spoke from the heart.
Yeah.
And what's neat is Oprah is like a class way up here, but she has a way of speaking to everybody, no matter where you are in your life or what age.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. So I really loved it too. Like, I really wasn't sure what to expect, but so we had read that you could get in at 7:30. The event started promptly at 9, but we got there at 7:30. But they wouldn't let us in until 8. So instead of waiting outside in the cold, we went down to the CNN Center, which was really neat. So here's inside the CNN building. You can see they've got Cartoon Network and lots of shops. There's a whole upstairs. There's CNN right there. And then we just got in line. So right at 8 o'clock, we were like they had like 6 or 7 lanes open, but they checked our purse and we got in right at 8, which was great because we got to go to all the vendors and get in line for some, the photo opportunities and the selfie stations, because by the time we had walked the lap, some of the lines were so long. So we didn't have to wait to get our t-shirt. So that was,
photo ops.
Yeah. And then all the bags were at our chairs. So it started about like 9:20. And it started with a group called,
Work It or
shoot. Anyway, it was like this dance group, like this morning dance group, but they came out with drums. It was just a group of just like, that just says, get up in the morning and just move.
Create a community here together this morning. Let's all stand up and let's get our bodies, minds, and spirits.
So that was kind of a fun way, and then there was maybe like a 5 or 10 minute break, and then Oprah came out. And she had on this cute little jumpsuit, but she spoke for probably like 2 hours. But just talking about like your why, what are you doing with your life? And then there was a break, and it's amazing. They fed 12,000 people Panera in an hour. Like, it was crazy.
Yes.
Victoria waited in line to go to the bathroom in the women's room. I went to the men's room. And I couldn't talk Victoria to going to the men's room with me. But like, it was 95% women. And like, the line was so long. I'm so, I'm just going to the men's room.
But when Mary went in, she went in, and as I started going in, there was a man walking in, like, right by my side. He looked over at me like, what are you doing? So I'm like,
you go to the urinal, I'll go to the stall. And so by the time, because it takes girls so much longer, he was gone, and I was just washed my hands and went out. But then like, they had like Panera, like you could pick from a turkey box lunch, a Mediterranean, so a turkey sandwich, a veggie sandwich, a salad, and there was one other choice I thought, wasn't there? Or were there just 3 choices? Okay. And so then we ate, got some soda, and then just took a quick break, and then went back to our seat. So Gail King was there, her best friend was there, so we saw her. Well, we saw her, like, they showed her. We didn't really see her in person, but she was there. And then after lunch, it came on. Okay, I always say her last name wrong. Julianne Hough.
Yes.
So she's there, and she started something called Kinergy. So it's kind of like, she wants it to be the soul cycle of dancing. So they just had a kind of like a again, it was just kind of an inspirational kind of get up and move thing.
Was allowing us, Kinergy, to be here and share with you what we believe is the next generation of physical health, mental health, and energetic health. What is our superpower? We dance! Hey! Do you guys want to dance? I saw you guys earlier. I saw you guys. All right, so if you guys want, you guys can stand on up. You guys can participate with us.
My only criticism was because I just saw Lizzo, and Lizzo had backup dancers of women that were like all sizes, like little skinny beanpole, very, very thin girls, to bigger full figure girls that were still, you know, wonderful professional dancers. And so I would say with Julianne and her group, it was all professional dancers with their professional dancer bodies. So like that would be my only kind of criticism, not a criticism, but
Feedback.
Yes, feedback. Thank you. That's so much nicer. You like feedback. Yeah. So
But she did look, Juliana she was rocking this white exercise top and exercise bottoms. It was really cute.
Yeah.
Like if I ever looked like that, I'd be wearing that.
Yeah, like to the mall, to Christmas dinner. Yeah, she looked amazing.
Even Oprah made a cute comment about it.
Yeah, so she looked good in her white spandex. And then there was a man that, so they just talked about like some of the stuff, the surprises that they did in Atlanta and where they ate. But there was this man that they featured, and he was like 315 pounds, and then he had an accident and he had to actually have his leg amputated above the knee, it looked like. And then how he had to lose weight. And it was just kind of like, if this guy can go out and live his life and lose weight, and he really needed to lose weight to be able to use this prosthetic.
Yes.
You know, I guess this kind of mantra was no excuses.
Yes.
Eric, come up here.
Eric,
Eric.
I just want to say what a pleasure it is, and you're such an inspiration, and thank you for being a fan. I'm honored that you're a fan, and you backstage, I say, you look 20 years younger. Give me a hug.
So he came out. Oh, and then actually the CEO of Weight Watchers was there. And she's 62.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, they talked about the founder of Weight Watchers, and I didn't know much about the background of Weight Watchers, but the first meetings they held were in her basement.
Yes.
Her husband did the basement, like fixed up the basement or something.
Yeah. And it was like in
50s. It was like 56 or 51.
Yeah. And she was just overweight and just kind of struggled, used humor to get through her weight loss struggles, and then went to like the health department and actually learned a little bit about how to lose weight, and just realized, oh, it's better to do it with friends. So she started having all her friends do it. She started having weekly meetings and weigh-ins in their basement. Like it was just, and then they had to rent out a movie theater. So it just kind of started with just like a woman just realizing, oh, it's better to lose weight with friends. So that was really fun to just kind of hear about the beginnings of Weight Watchers, or WW now, because it's more about wellness. And then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came out, and it was more like of an interview style. And he's the only man on this tour. Everybody else, all her special guests are women. So he lives in Atlanta. He was actually, I liked him better than I thought I would. Like, to be honest, I was kind of like, oh, disappointed when it was him. But he had a really good story.
Yeah, I had read a little bit about him previously on a different show I'd seen on TV about his humble beginnings. So I was quite surprised. I did not know his father had recently passed. So they were focusing a lot of that in the beginning. I thought, okay, if his dad had not passed, what were they going to be talking about at one point?
Yeah, his dad died 10 days ago.
Yeah, but he's, I don't know. I just admire him.
Yeah, he's more he's like way more endearing to me than he was going into this.
And they had some men. There were some men at the thing.
Yeah.
And they were talking about what Oprah asked him what advice he would give the men in the audience, and it was really interesting. I wish I had taped it at that time.
Yeah.
To show my husband. But one of the first things he said is, "You're right, honey." Just say, "You're right, honey."
He's like, yeah. And then Oprah said for any of the men that came that they could ride this thing for 8 weeks. Like for 8 weeks, they could get what, like they really should get whatever they wanted. And I was like, oh, like 8 weeks.
And she said this several times.
Yeah, I would if my husband brought me maybe a week, you know, maybe 10 days, but like 8 weeks, girl.
No.
But anyway, Oprah showed a clip of her. She got invited to the Tonight Show, and so she was so excited to go on the Tonight Show. So Johnny Carson was out, so Joan Rivers was the hostess. And so first of all, Oprah was making fun of the outfit that she wore, but just how Joan Rivers kind of called her out on national TV and just said, like, why are you so fat? And just saying, well, because I eat so much. And it's like, well, no, like, you're 50 pounds overweight. Like, how did you let this happen to yourself?
So how'd you gain the weight? I ate a lot. No.
Oprah showed a clip of her. She got invited to the Tonight Show, and so she was so excited to go on the Tonight Show.
No, you said 50 pounds. You shouldn't let that happen to you. Very Johnny. You know what? No, I don't want to hear.
All I could hear was fat, you're fat, you're fat. And I felt shamed by that experience.
And how Oprah just said she was so embarrassed and ashamed and just, you know, felt like she wasn't good enough. And they had done a pre-interview, and never in the pre-interview did her weight come up. And just what a humiliating like thing it was. And so after that, she just thought, I'm gonna lose weight. And that's when she went on that OptiFast diet, but that she just wasn't eating any food, and she lost 67 pounds, where she brought out the big old wagon of fat that everybody remembers. But by the end of that week, she had gained 8 pounds back. And that she wasn't the picture of health. She just wanted to get into these super skinny jeans. And, you know, she wrecked her health to be thin, and it wasn't like maintainable for her, you know.
And she gained all the weight back, plus, what did she say?
26 pounds.
Yeah. So that's a lot.
Yeah. Like another thing that she really talked about was like, if it's in the past, it's in the past. Kind of like if you have things in the past, they're over, they're done with, you have to move forward. You know, they might be traumas or bad things, but you just have to, you know, move forward. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to find kind of peace or acceptance, or just like, all right, I got to move forward. But her word for the year was, what was her word?
Oh.
It was a long word.
Yeah.
But
we've been up a long
time.
I know. We've been up since
yes. It's been a long day. But the thing ended at like after 4 o'clock. So again, it started at 9 and went, you know, to 4. So it was a long day in cramped seats. But she was just a really great speaker, just talked about her humble beginnings. And, you know, I thought was interesting, it's like, you know, Oprah's like a billionaire, and she made no apologies for the money she makes. And she just said, you know, try to think about what you think my life is like. Now, it's 10 times better than that. And she's like, you cannot imagine how good my life is. But just, you know, feeling like grateful for the life she's been giving, but knowing feeling that everything that happened in her life, you know, like not having like really a great mom, you know, really having a teenage mom who really didn't want her, you know, being kind of raised by her aunt and her grandma, but how it all just led up to making her. She said that she bet on herself. And so when it came time to negotiate her contract for her television show, instead of taking the salary, she said, I'm not going to take any salary, but I want 50% of the profits. And then it was 60% of the profits, and it was 70% of the profits. And by the time her television show ended, she was making 92% of the profits, and the station was making 8%. But just not being apologetic for the success she's had, the money she's had, and just kind of saying, if people underestimate you, you're golden, because you'll just bet on yourself. And I thought that was like a really powerful message, and you know, just what she likes to do with her money and give it away, and you know, the people she's put through college. And then there was a young man there who was a dancer, and she didn't realize that he was one of the men that her foundation put through college, and he just got a master's degree at UCLA. And he also was one of the dancers there, and he came from a small island community, and now he's living in Atlanta and having, you know, a good life. And
that's crazy. One of the things that Oprah did is she yesterday she went through a couple of places in town and surprised businesses, and the one place that she stopped that I wish she had elaborated a little bit more on is they surprised a WW meeting. And I can't even imagine if I had been in my weekly meeting that I go to at WW, that Oprah Winfrey and her entourage would come in. I would just be blown away. But they didn't really focus too much on that, and I just would have loved like what she said to them, what was their reaction. I probably would first thought it was an impersonator myself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And she also just like focused on, like she said a lot of times, like you can have anything, but you can't have everything. You know, when it comes to food, like, you know, you can have that catfish, but you can't have all of the catfish and all of the cake. You know, you can have, but that's one of the things that I do love about Weight Watchers is that it's so funny that people will always say to me, are you allowed to eat that? And I always say, like, I'm allowed to eat whatever I want. And then, you know, it's a choice, but if I have this, then I'll make a better choice tomorrow. So, or just different, you know, lower point choices the next day.
I think when I first started Weight Watchers, I was all about buying their snacks and their, you know, their little things there in the store. And what I finally had to tell myself was, I can't always rely on those snacks because it's just not feasible. There's not a Weight Watchers section by me at my home. So I really focused on just eating the regular, if I want potato chips, then I know how many I can have, rather than always spending all that money on their little snacks. And their snacks are good, don't get me wrong, but they're not always going to be with me because our house, you know, I have kids, my husband, they don't want Weight Watchers snacks.
Yeah. I started Weight Watchers in 2 years ago, December 2017. I lost 50 pounds and then I kind of went on like a maintenance plan, knowing I still need to lose more, but I probably gained back 15 pounds. So I need to, you know, again, this was, you know, I just did it for so long. I just needed to take a break, and man, did I take a break. So this was, I think, going to help me just kind of get to refocus again and realize I know what I need to do to get the, you know, more of the weight off. So I think this was a good refocusing tool. And how much did you lose?
I lost 42 pounds and then I put on 17 back. Okay. I have a tendency to start, rather than focusing on myself, I let things just come into my life and just kind of derailed. And right before Thanksgiving, I said, okay, enough's enough. If anything through this holiday season, I just want to maintain. So since November, I've been back on track and doing pretty well.
Yeah, so you've been back on track. So I need to get back to meetings and also get back on track because I know what I need to do, and it's important. And again, you know, like what's done is done. I can't undo. You know, all we can do is kind of look to the future. And there's really like 3 possible outcomes. Is like A, I maintain my weight, which would kind of be neutral, which would be good. You know, B, I gain weight, which I don't want to do, or C, I lose more weight. And that's really what, you know, I mean, there's a neutral and a positive, and that's really what I want to go for. And, you know, there's a lot of things we can't control in our lives, but we certainly can control what we put in our mouths.
Yep.
And so I was telling Victoria that I'm fine. Like I can eat the same thing like every day. So every night I would come home and cook chicken and have like cauliflower rice with it, or sometimes cauliflower mashed potatoes. And I just kind of somehow, I don't know, like there was a lot of travel at the end of the year, and then maybe just getting like too comfortable and you know, getting too happy with myself. As Brad says, you know, says that when he's proud of himself, he's happy at himself. So I got too happy at myself and just kind of, I don't know, like somehow just got out of the habit of cooking and just, you know, eating. And maybe it was just like just the end of the year and all the travel and stuff that I did. But
yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, so just having to get back to, I know what I need to do. I need to, you know, it's all the chicken and the proteins, and know what I need to eat, and really kind of watch out for those little things.
But we know if it was easy, we'd all be so thin. But it's not easy, but it can be. And everyone always says if you work the program, it works, and it does.
And the other night I was snacking on something that I shouldn't have been snacking on. It was like jelly beans or something. And I was looking at them and I was thinking, like, I obviously do not love myself very much because I was eating like sugar and like just junk. I was like putting like terrible stuff in my body. And if I really loved and respected myself as much as I really should, and like love and respect other people, like I would not, like if guests came over, I would not be feeding them jelly beans, you know what I mean? Like I would have put on like a really nice meal. And so just like, why am I just like really putting poison in my body? And even thinking about like on the plane trip down here, I had like 2 Diet Cokes, and it's like, that is, even though it's 0 calories, it's pretty much just
artificial sweeteners,
kind of poison, you know, like I really should be drinking water And Victoria had shared a story about water. I don't know if you want to share.
Yeah, I really started putting water into my program because Weight Watchers right now does not push drinking all this water. So I kind of Googled how much water should I be drinking, and they always say what I was seeing was half of your body weight.
In ounces, though. She said, Victoria's like, I'm drinking half of my body weight. I'm like, you're drinking 90 pounds of water? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay.
Well, I'll just share. I'm drinking 107 ounces a day. I haven't on this trip, but or this weekend, but at home and at work, I'm really trying to do that. And I've been doing that 5 weeks, and that has made a difference at all my weigh-ins.
Yeah, and I am always probably in a state of dehydration.
Yes.
Like, I just never drink enough water. I'm addicted to well, I was addicted to iced tea, but now my thing is Diet Cherry Dr. Pepper. And unfortunately, I've gotten other people addicted to it. Sorry, Shauna, because I saw she did a vlog, and she's like, my diet, yeah, that stuff is like so good. But again, it's like red dye and stuff you can't pronounce. Like, so I think that's I really got to start drinking more water. And when I had my eyebrows done, the lady was saying, oh, you can tell you drink so much water. I'm like, oh, I'm so bad at that. So that's probably something I should try to do as well. So yeah,
it's supposed to be good for your skin, hydration, keeping your body moving.
Yeah. So it was a really great day. It was I was kind of like a little bit dreading coming to this because I just came off from the CAST conference, and I was away from home for 6 days, 5 nights, and then having to go right into this, and then I'm not traveling again until the beginning of March. So I'm a keynote speaker in Connecticut. So I have a little bit of a break, but I wasn't really kind of looking forward to this, but once I got through the CAST conference and said, okay, it was like packing again and just allowing myself to go and do this. It was just really a lot of fun. And Atlanta is so fun, and there's just so much to do. And the people here are really nice.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and it's a really multicultural group of people here. So we just talked to some really interesting Uber drivers. So I always like, you can tell the city like, oh, there's some really neat Uber drivers. So yeah, so I'm so glad we came. We're heading home first thing tomorrow. Like, I think we have to leave the hotel around 9, so we'll land about 12:30. But I'm so glad that we decided to come, and we decided to come like so long ago. We bought the tickets.
Is it September?
Yeah, like we bought the tickets like a really long time ago. So, but yeah, I'm glad we came, and it was fun. It was an investment, and
I loved it.
We had a super fun time. So we maybe need to go on some more autmiga girl adventures. So yeah, so thanks for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and we'll definitely get back to you. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.